The modern global economy feels massive, decentralized, and unstoppable. Millions of companies operating across continents, billions of daily transactions, endless flows of goods moving between factories, ports, warehouses, and consumers with such consistency that most people assume the system is permanent, stable, self-sustaining. But beneath this illusion lies a dangerous structural reality. The global economy does not move evenly across the planet. It moves through a handful of narrow corridors. Thin maritime arteries carrying enormous percentages of world trade through highly concentrated routes that were never designed to absorb sustained disruption. And when one of those corridors becomes unstable, the consequences spread far beyond shipping. Because modern civilization is not merely connected by trade, it is synchronized through it. Most people rarely think about the Red Sea, a narrow body of water positioned between Africa and the Middle East. Yet this corridor quietly supports one of the most important economic flows on Earth. Ships carrying energy, electronics, machinery, consumer goods, industrial components, food supplies, and raw materials pass through this route constantly, because it connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean through the Suez Canal, which means the Red Sea is not regional infrastructure, it is global infrastructure. And this is where the deeper system becomes visible. The global economy appears decentralized on the surface because products originate from thousands of factories and move between countless companies. But physically, global trade compresses into choke points. The Suez Canal, Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Malacca, Panama Canal. A few narrow passages through which enormous volumes of civilization flow continuously, which means globalization is not truly distributed. It is concentrated vulnerability disguised as scale. When instability began affecting Red Sea shipping routes, the initial reaction across markets was cautious rather than catastrophic. Because modern supply chains are designed around the assumption that disruptions are temporary. A delayed shipment here, a rerouted vessel there. But the deeper problem emerges when disruption becomes persistent. Because global logistics systems are optimized heavily for efficiency, not resilience, which means they function smoothly under normal conditions but become fragile under sustained pressure. And then comes the invisible layer most people never see: insurance. Global shipping does not operate solely through physical movement. It operates through risk pricing. Every vessel crossing strategic waters carries insurance costs tied directly to perceived danger, which means when geopolitical instability increases, insurance premiums rise immediately. And once insurance costs surge high enough, trade routes become economically unstable even before physical shipping stops entirely. This is how tiny disruptions begin creating global consequences. Higher insurance costs increase shipping expenses. Higher shipping expenses increase import prices. Delays reduce inventory predictability. Manufacturers lose scheduling stability, retail systems experience shortages, commodity prices fluctuate, inflationary pressure rises, and suddenly, a regional maritime disruption begins affecting consumers thousands of kilometers away who have never even heard of the Red Sea crisis itself. To avoid instability, many shipping firms began rerouting vessels around the southern tip of Africa instead of using the Suez Canal corridor. But rerouting creates another problem: distance. Longer routes consume more fuel, require more crew time, reduce shipping efficiency, and delay cargo delivery schedules globally. Which means avoiding the crisis still generates economic consequences because the architecture of global trade depends heavily on optimized timing. For decades, corporations optimized supply chains using just-in-time logistics systems. Inventory minimized, warehouses reduced, products arriving exactly when needed. This improved efficiency and profitability enormously. But it also removed buffer capacity from the system, which means modern supply chains possess very little tolerance for sustained disruption. They are fast, but brittle. The Red Sea crisis also exposed another hidden dependency: energy transit. Significant quantities of oil and liquefied natural gas move through surrounding maritime corridors, which means instability threatens not only consumer goods, but energy markets themselves. And because energy prices influence nearly every industrial sector simultaneously, even modest disruptions create outsized economic ripple effects globally. Whenever critical trade corridors become unstable, military power inevitably follows. Naval patrols increase, strategic alliances activate, maritime security operations expand. Because protecting shipping lanes is not merely about transportation. It is about maintaining the circulation systems of the global economy itself. Protecting the circulation systems of the global economy itself. Modern civilization depends far more heavily on container shipping than most people realize. Food systems, pharmaceuticals, electronics, construction materials, consumer products, industrial machinery. Nearly every major economic sector relies on maritime logistics continuously, which means disruptions at sea eventually become disruptions everywhere. Countries deeply integrated into export manufacturing systems face particularly high vulnerability to maritime instability. China, as the world's manufacturing powerhouse, depends heavily on stable global shipping corridors to sustain export flows, which means maritime choke point instability affects not only regional trade, but the structural mechanics of globalization itself. For Europe, the Red Sea crisis exposed uncomfortable dependence on external maritime systems. Energy imports, industrial components, Asian manufacturing supply chains, all heavily reliant on uninterrupted shipping access, which means maritime instability increasingly becomes a strategic vulnerability, rather than merely logistical inconvenience. And this is the contradiction at the center of globalization. The modern world appears diversified because products come from everywhere, but the systems moving those products are highly concentrated, which means civilization itself increasingly depends on the uninterrupted operation of a few strategic corridors, vulnerable to disruption from conflict, climate events, piracy, geopolitical escalation, or infrastructure failure. The Red Sea crisis may ultimately represent something larger than a temporary disruption. It may be a preview of how future geopolitical conflict evolves, not necessarily through direct invasion, but through pressure applied against economic circulation systems themselves. Shipping corridors, financial networks, semiconductors, energy flows. Because in the modern world, controlling circulation increasingly means controlling power. The global economy feels enormous because its outputs are everywhere, but its movement depends on a few narrow corridors most people never think about. And the Red Sea crisis exposed a dangerous truth beneath modern globalization. The system is far more fragile than the world realized. Because when civilization compresses itself into optimized pathways, even small disruptions can ripple across the planet with extraordinary force. Make sure to subscribe to Learning BizCraft for more strategic teardowns.